Kala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of great millstone who rule well and teach well. Almighty Shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit, Lord willing that y'all all continue to endure and be sincere. And Shalom to the Akwatiyam, believers in his faith and his truth, Lord willing that they continue to pursue their lot, which is being a loving and sound and virtuous wife. And Lord willing the most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Right, the title of this lesson, Lord willing, is encouraging, like an exhortation. It is titled, "The Lord sent ravens to feed Elijah. In Jacob's trouble, he shall feed us." The Lord sent ravens to feed Elijah. In Jacob's trouble, he shall feed us. Lord willing, we are a part of that number, right? So the first precept I want to go to is 1 Kings, the 17th chapter, in verse 1 to 6. It says, "And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, As the Lord God of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word." And the word of Yahweh Shemashai came unto him, saying, "Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook of Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I commanded the ravens to feed thee there." So he went and did according unto the word of Yahweh Shemashai, for he went and dwelt by the brook of Cherith, that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. Right? All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? Before we even get to Jacob's trouble, it's already established. The Lord is already establishing our steps, the same way he is establishing how we're going to eat, how we're going to be clothed, how we're going to have a roof over our head, if it comes to that. Let's go to another one where the Lord provided. Let's go to Bel the Dragon. There's only one chapter. We can go down to verse 25. And I believe we're going to read to 39. So this is Bel the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 25. It says, Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship Yahweh Shemashai my power, for he is the living God. But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I give thee leave. Now, before I keep going, I just want to say a side note. You know, when throughout all the scriptures, you hear true faithful servants saying that they're going to worship the true power, which is Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Come in this thing, Lord willing, I could do a lesson, or any other brother can. We always are making a distinctive difference between the world, the gods of the world, and all these other nations, to the God which we supposed to be serving. The true power is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It's the only God, the only one, and we should be serving him, right? And speaking about him, magnifying his name, speaking on the good things that he have done, right? He's great and terrible. Look at the suffering. Look at the situation that we're in, four corners of the earth. Talking to you believers, the ones that don't believe, you're not going to get anything that I'm saying, because this ministry is only one-sided, and it's only for the Black, Latino, Hispanics, and natives that are called that on this side, right? So let's keep going. Verse 25 again. Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship Yahweh Shemashai thy power, for he is the living God. But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I give thee leave. Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair and did seeth them together, and made lumps thereof. This is he, this he put in the dragon's mouth, and so the dragon burst in sunder. And Daniel said, Lo, these are the gods ye worship. Then they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation, and conspired against the king, saying, The king is become a Jew, and he have destroyed Baal, and he have slain the dragon, and put the priest to death. So they came to the king and said, Deliver us, Daniel, or else we will destroy thee in thy house. Right? And you got to understand the things that's pushed in this world. Right? It's every day is pushing things that the Lord don't accept, but they try to make you think that the Lord accepted. Everybody's saying that the God of the Bible is not real, but they're constantly making a mockery of the God of the Bible. But you don't see them doing that to the Muslims, to the Chinese, to the so on and so on, to the highest level. They're trying to disrespect Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And you have people in our nation, people out our nation that have been doing that for generations upon generation. This is why history is merely repeating itself. Right? We're exposing the falsehood throughout the whole world. Every day we do a lesson. And of course, the Lord is going to raise a people that are going to bump up against this, because the Lord is doing a diligent search for true believers, right? Who's folding under pressure? Who's going to watch this? Are you watching it just to get an entertainment, a laugh at? Or is you actually observing like, yo, this is, they actually speaking facts. They going in the scriptures, is making sense, right? This is all the Lord's doing, and he's watching, right? Just like the Lord was watching what Daniel was doing right here, right? Verse 28, it says, Then they of Babylon, again, I'm reading 28, when they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation, and conspired against the king, saying, The king is become a Jew, and he have destroyed Baal. He slain the dragon, and put the priest to death. So they came to the king and said, Deliver us, Daniel, or else we will destroy thee in thy house. Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions, and they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which they were not given to them, to the intent they might devour Daniel. Now there was a jury, a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. Now, Proverbs 16:9, a man's heart deviseth his ways, but the Lord direct his steps. Verse 34, But the angel of Yahweh Shemashai said to Habakkuk, Go, carry the dinner that thou hast unto Babylon, unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of Yahweh Shemashai took him by the crown, and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemence of his of his spirit, set him in Babylon over the den. I gotta say another thing. How he was bringing the food to a reaper, and the angel of the Lord, right, told him, Habakkuk, go carry this bread to Babylon. Of course, Habakkuk say he never saw Babylon. He don't even know where the den is. And the angel grabbed him by his crown, by his hair, and not like the angel got him in his hand. No, the angel was in a chariot, and I don't know if you guys see movies, but when people get beamed up, he's basically caught up in the beam of getting beamed up by the chariot and taken to Daniel. Now, of course, when we read, you don't see, I'm just adding this into this lesson. You don't see Habakkuk, oh my goodness, this and that. He's not, because we were entwined, especially true believers, was entwined with the Lord. And we understood the same dream that Jacob had of angels ascending and descending in Genesis 28, verse 10 and 12. The true believers understood that. And angels is truly on the earth right now, ascending and descending, delivering message to the Lord on what we do, right? The things that the Lord want them to pour unto us. They're there, you know. It's just the Lord is dealing with us through the Rakak Wadash of Hamashiach Yahushai. So that's a beautiful thing. So verse 37, Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, take the dinner which God hath sent thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O God, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. So Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of Yahweh Shemashai set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. So again, Daniel at that last moment said, Yahweh Shemashai, you remembered me. So even for the elect, let me get this, because the Lord is going to remember his chosen, man. Second Esdras, the 16th chapter, in verse 73, it says, Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith Yahweh Shemashai, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide. Right? The Lord is going to remember his chosen. Many is called, a few is chosen. The Lord is going to remember his chosen. In these scriptures is our motivation to know the Lord remembers us. Right? 2 Timothy 2 and 15 in the GNT, win the approval of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Right? The whole point on this side, we trying to win the approval to get that position of one of the Lord's elect. Right? So now let's go back to Kings. Well, let's go to chapter 19. So 1 Kings chapter 19, we're going to read 4 to 8. It says, But he himself went a day journey into the wilderness. And this is going into Elijah, right? Actually, we can start up. We only read into verse 8. We can start at verse 2. It says, Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, Go, let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and left his servant there. But when he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, It is enough now, O Yahweh, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, and an angel touched him, and said unto him, Arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baken on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink, and laid him down again. And the angel of Yahweh Shemashai came again the second time, and touched him, and said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. And he arose and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of God. Right? We can keep on going. Actually, we can keep on reading verse 9. It says, And he came thither unto a cave, and lodged there. And behold, the word of Yahweh Shemashai came to him, and he said unto him, What doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for Yahweh Shemashai, God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only am left, and they seek my life to take it away. Right? So again, the Lord provided food again for Elijah, right? But he was providing food for another benefit too, that his journey was going to be great. And we seen in verse 10 where Elijah was saying that he was jealous for the Lord and the children of Israel forsaking the covenant, throw down their altars, and slain their prophets with the sword. And he felt like he was even left. When you keep reading, you find out that the Lord had preserved 7,000 prophets, men of the Lord, that didn't bow the knee to Baal. So again, the Lord is going to provide for the elect. A lot of times when I'm reading about, a faithful servant or a prophet, I'm always thinking of the elect, because that is the example of the 144,000. They're teaching this word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and they're being an example for other people under them, younger or old. When you go to 2 Maccabees, the 6th chapter, Eleazar wanted to be an example or encouragement, a sign to endure, this suffering, this affliction that we're dealing with, because we're aiming to get that crown or get that salvation. Soon as you quit and you give up, right, and you want to cleave and be like these other nations, you're a freaking big time loser, right? Because your focus should be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We just read it in 2 Ezra 16. Don't doubt. The Lord is always our guide. He's never early, never late. He's always on time, right? So let's get another one. Let's go to Matthew, the 6th chapter, in verse 25 to 34. It says, Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather unto barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Right? And so even the birds don't. Let's just keep going. Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature? None of us can. St. John 3:30. The Lord gives he shall increase and we shall decrease. That's what John was saying. Right? Paul and Silas. Paul said he planted seed, Silas water. Vice versa. If Silas planted seed, Paul waters, but Yahweh Shema Shai gives the increase. Verse 28. And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, they toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Wherefore, if God so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Right? We got to build our faith now. Even more why this lesson is hitting, because the Lord really did these things. Gotta have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Have more faith on the things that you don't see, because it's really orchestrating the things that you do see. Therefore, take no thought, saying, What shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. The Lord know what you need. He even know what you want. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for tomorrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Right? We shouldn't be worrying. Put all your worry Put all your energy in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for good or bad, right? Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 11. Um, I'm gonna read verse 10. It says, "Behold, Yahweh Shemel Shai power will come with strong hand, and his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him in his work before him." He said his arm shall rule for him. That arm is Hamashiach Yahushai. Verse 11, which is the point. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm and carry them in his bosom. He shall gently lead those that are with young. Right? So Yahweh Shai is that good shepherd. Right? He's the physical Godhead of Yahweh in the Rakak Wadash. Right? Yahweh Shai is looking at the state of his flock. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is looking at the state of their flock. It is all the elect of Israel. Not all Israel, but the elect. Right? He's feeding his flock. What's the number one food we're getting? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? Jacob trouble is going to come. You're going to be provided for food. But even more, right now, if you're getting provided with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you're going to be provided on which way, what direction you should go, right? What people you should be communicating with. It's going to be all Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And you're going to be speaking on him more than you probably do now, because that is going to be a very serious or scary time. So it said lamb, right? I want to go to this side precept, which is Matthew, the 25th chapter, in verse 31 to 34. It says, "When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall he gather all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from his goat. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world." And that is for the sheep on the right hand. When you go look up sinister, SINSTER, oh, well, then I spelled it right. Look up sinister on etymology.com, and you'll get the understanding. Left, sinister means left, right? It means left side or left. So again, you don't want to be the goats on the left side, which is truly Esau, and which the 2/3 is going to die on this side. The elect is going to be on the right side, who's going to actually get that kingdom and reap the benefit of the kingdom, right? Reap the benefits that Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to give the elect. Let's go to Ezekiel 34. Ezekiel 34 in verse 9 to 15. It says, "Therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the word of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Thus saith Yahweh Shemel Shai, Behold, I am against the shepherds, and I require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more. For I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them." Right? And that even goes back in the time of Yahushua with the Pharisees. And that even goes for our time right now. People are going to eventually, through the Spirit, be removed from some of these camps. And they're going to cleave to the right teachers. Right? Verse 11, it says, "For thus saith Yahweh Shai power, Behold, I, even I, will both search my scriptures and seek them out." So the Lord is searching us. For you to come in his truth, the Lord was searching you. For you to fully be established, because he enabled you. 1 Timothy 1 and 12. Right? Verse 12. "As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered. So will I seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark place. And I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the countries and will bring them to their own land and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers and in all the inhabited places of the country. I will feed them in a good pasture, right? He said he's going to feed the children of Israel upon the mountain of Israel by the rivers. 14, I will feed them in a good pasture, and upon the high mountains of Israel shall their fold be. There shall they lie in a great fold, and in a fat pasture shall they feed upon the mountains of Israel. I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie down, saith Yahweh Bashir Yahushai, which that's what the Lord is doing daily with his sheep, right? And the sheep is learning something new each and every day through the scriptures. And sometimes it could be something that the sheep they already went through, they already heard, right? The Lord is allowing it to come back out again. This is Proverbs 27, verse 23. It says, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks and look well to thy herds, right? Just to line this up with Ezekiel and what we read in Matthew, right? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is always looking at their flock. This is why the elect, this is how they got in the truth. This is how the elect is enduring to the end, right? Son been here for 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 8, and 9. And some of them is still teaching sound doctrine. Some of them is getting corrected and accepting it and fixing the mistakes. Right? So again, we have to be diligent knowing the state of our flocks. If you got family, you should be feeding them this word, because we're all going to count on our faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. What if an earthquake comes? Everything, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be in your house, right? What is you going to do? Some people say, I'm going to call on the Lord. Right now, you should be doing that already now, so that it's already going to be a habit when those things come. When you're short on food and it's looking hectic outside and you're like, you know what? We're going to stay in here another day. You better cry and pray unto the Lord. Somebody might knock on the door and come with some food. Or you might find some extra food throughout your house that you was hiding. Or you might be moved to another house that got plenty of food. We gotta constantly think on these moments in the scriptures to know, you know what? Just like how the Lord had them, the Lord gonna have me. So Lord willing, just edifying it straight to the point. Want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakabadash. And with that, Shalom. Remember, again, the Lord sent ravens to feed Elijah. In Jacob's trouble, he shall feed us. Shalom.